you chat?
Always. Hello.
Hiya.
That sounded really chipper.
Yours?
Yeah, I am chipper, I guess, but.
When you answered the phone the other day, I told you answered in your work voice.
No, my napping voice.
No, but then it was your pretend work voice.
Oh, I was napping.
But you tried to sound like you weren't napping.
Yes. But not like because I didn't want you to know I was napping. It's just like, that's what my brain does.
Yeah, like you were like trying to be alert. Like it was like, hello?
Okay, well, that sounds like a panicked voice.
It was like, oh, I'm wide awake, but I'm not.
Wide awake. No, I was like, hello, in my mind. But it came out a little bit more assertive. How are you?
Good. Note for the listeners, we recorded late this week because next Monday we can't record because I'm out of town. We pushed our recording this past week to later in the week so that an episode will drop Monday right in between when the two should have.
A little late from last week, a little early for this week. You got to take life as it comes.
But we'll be back to regularly scheduled programming soon.
Exactly.
How was your week?
Not bad. Standard week. Busy. Cold. Extremely cold.
Extremely cold.
Which automatically makes it a not great week when like it hurts to go outside. And everything you have to think about the temperature because like I just want to live my life without ever thinking about the weather. And this week I like required a coat, gloves. It's just like planning I'm not equipped to do. But work was pretty good and we celebrated your birthday last week, my birthday this week. It's a birthday palooza.
We're born a week apart.
People might not know that about us, but you're much older.
So much older and wiser beyond your years.
No, I'm mature for my age.
Yeah, we actually had a really fun weekend.
Yeah, we had a great weekend celebrating our birthdays. And we're here to now share wisdom from 33. We're going to have so much more wisdom to share.
No, really. Like we are just...
I'm changed.
We're in our 33rd year.
You couldn't understand unless you've been here.
Absolutely not. It's a totally unique position.
It's totally brand new.
Does
experience.
33 sound much older than 32?
You know what I was saying to someone the other day? No. For some reason, odd ages sound younger to me. Like 31 and 33 don't sound as old for some reason as 32 and 34.
I agree. Interesting theory. I used to always think about that like when I just wanted to like seem older, like in college. Like when you're 18 and then you turn 19, you're like, who gives a shit about 19? But then 20 was real.
Yeah.
21 though was real.
21 was real, but like I think because I'm used to thinking like 15 isn't 16, like big years usually are like your 18th birthday, your 20th birthday, your 30th birthday, like these like milestones. So it's like, okay, I'm just 33. Like I'm a baby. Like I'm so far from my next milestone.
Yeah, like I'm beyond young.
I'm barely walking.
Clearly.
Like
Last week when it was my birthday, you were like trying to, I don't know, philosophically understand age.
Oh, yes, I was.
And you were like, but think about it. Are you really 33 or are you 34?
We decided you're 34.
And I was like, I don't understand what you're saying, but just like, let me enjoy my coffee. And you were like, but think about it.
This?
And you were like, because like your whole first year, then you turn 1. So you're a year old already.
Exactly. So the year is actually reflecting on what you've
just done.
Completed.
You've completed your first year.
So I've completed 33 years.
And you're going into your 34th.
So like now that I'm 33 in a day or whatever.
You're on your 34th year.
I'm 34.
I don't understand it still, but I'll pretend that I
listener.
do. Oh, you know what I was going to say?
What?
A new fun segment we could do is something called Bone to Pick, which is, it could be with a person, a thing.
I love complaining.
Yeah, it's just another way of saying complain game. And so we're going on this family trip.
Okay.
And we're going to Dallas because my sister-in-law is getting engaged,
Woo woo.
which I can say because
by the time you hear this, she'll be engaged.
Yeah, she'll be engaged.
If everything goes to plan.
No, really.
No, it will.
She's been like waiting and waiting to get engaged. And the other day on the phone, she was like, Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, and I'm starting to think, like, is he getting cold feet? Because I would just murder him. She's like, I'd be like, that's really funny. You're going to die now.
Like, we're getting married or I'm murdering you.
Yeah.
Those are the two options out
Pick
of
a
this.
lane.
There's no way out of this.
She's like, I don't know what the holdup is, but either way.
Here we are.
So yeah, and I was booking an Airbnb because, and you know how I love hotels.
Mm-hmm.
I love a hotel.
You do, yeah.
But when you're staying with a lot of people, it truly...
It's better.
No, not necessarily better. I was going to say it truly does save you money.
Because it's better. Like I'm saying, it has a lot of benefits.
Oh, yes, because like a hotel is like, you know, $180 a night plus tax. You're at like $200. And Airbnbs are that, but for so many bedrooms. Like that's how much it is for like, you know, 4 bedrooms.
And it's just like easier to exist. Like if you all want to hang out and you're only in a hotel, all of you are like cramming into like a double room. Like there's no common space to hang out with that many people. Like you kind of have to like make a plan, meet in the lobby and disperse. Like there's no way to like communally hang out.
As people who've stayed in a lot of hotels together with family, with friends, etc., we do tend to squeeze into hotel rooms wherever we go and have to like
Totally
just grin and bear it.
and
Pizza
hang out.
party in a tiny hotel room.
We love to be in a hotel, but I am starting to see the benefit of an Airbnb.
But let me say what my bone to pick is with Airbnbs because I did a lot of research. You know, I'm the booker. And I appreciate that role because
Sounds like my worst nightmare.
I know you don't want to be the booker.
No.
There's got to be a booker of every group. If no one's the booker,
Yeah, no, I praise bookers. It's just not me.
praise bookers.
Thankful.
Just because like I know what I'm looking for, etc. I know what people want. So I was looking at a ton of Airbnbs, like where should we stay? There's a lot of different areas. And what's really crazy to me, I don't feel like it's that hard as an Airbnb host. A lot of these hosts are like regular people or like a real estate agent who bought an Airbnb property, whatever. What's crazy to me is like you'll see places that are like, you know, 4 bedrooms and sleep 16. And you're like, wow, great. You're looking at the listing. It's like one room has like a king bed and then 2 twin bunks. It's like they're made for like bachelor parties, you know?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
And then you get to the living room and it's a love seat and a table for 2.
So it's like they have the room to hang out, but not the amenities.
Like the home is not then outfitted for the number of people that it sleeps.
Right.
I've seen it time and time again. It's just the craziest thing. Like, and there's only 6 of us staying in this Airbnb. So like table that seats 6, that feels standard.
Yeah.
Like a 4-person table is kind of small. Just the old 6-seater is totally fine.
Classic phrase, a 6-seater.
And it's like, I was looking at a house that had like 5 bedrooms. I was like, geez, we don't even need a couple of these bedrooms. It was like 5 bed, 3 bath, really nice house, like had a really nice yard, etc. And it had 2 bar stools at the counter. It was like chic. Like it was supposed to be like not like, you know.
Not your average Airbnb.
Yeah, like 2 bar stools at the kitchen counter, a love seat, and 2 armchairs in the living room. Like, oh, okay. So like there's 5 bedrooms in this home. Let's say 10 people are staying here and we're just all going to sit on each other's laps.
Yeah, and like, is it that much more expensive to get the appropriately sized furniture?
It's just like, then don't really advertise that it sleeps this many. Like it only sleeps this many. It only feeds 2 though.
And also just like
Sleep 16 and 2 people can have a snack.
No, it's more like anyone can get to the fridge, but like you have to pick your favorite 3 guests to hang out with in the living room.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the night, you're like,
The rest of you wait in your rooms.
should we have a game night? And it's like, okay, well, so we can, but
Okay, Sally, Mark, you're on for 8 o'clock. At 8:45,
Joan, Michael, you can come out.
you guys can come on and swap out. It makes literally no sense to me. And I've seen it in so many listings. And I don't know if this is something other people look at or if just I look at it.
I mean, I don't know if people pay enough attention to it, but it's certainly something that they'd need to know.
Is that something you would look at? If
Never.
you wouldn't.
I'm
We'd show up at...
thinking, because we're going to Park City in a few weeks for my husband's birthday. And I'm like, did I check the living room?
What does it have in there?
I think it's fine. I think it's totally fine. The location was great. It's got great bedrooms. I think it's fine.
Okay, well, you guys will be eating dinner outside. You'll all just be huddled around your iPhone on one of the bunk beds watching Netflix.
I'm like, fuck.
It's just like, it actually is so crazy. And when I was looking at Airbnbs for Florida, it was kind of the same thing. Like, you have this many bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. So you're expecting to have a good chunk of people there.
Right. You're encouraging it.
Yeah. Then you put bunk beds in because you're like, more people can sleep in the rooms, etc. And then come to find out, not enough space for anyone to watch TV.
I actually hate when they have an extremely small TV.
Yeah, same.
Like, do you remember when your mom stayed in that? Actually, you probably first experienced this because I know I first experienced it. Do you remember your mom? Every year, your parents go to LA, obviously, for the winter. But back in the day when your dad was still not retired, your mom would stay out there and your dad would go back and forth a million times. And we would go spend time with your mom. And she had this great house. But do you remember which house I'm talking about? It slapped like 6. Like, it had like a Jack and Jill
the
bedroom
one where
upstairs.
Our room was in the basement.
No, yeah, our room was in the basement.
Yes.
She had a bedroom, plenty of space. There was a love seat, and I'm not kidding you, a 12-inch TV.
I do remember that because I was out there one weekend with my dad, and him and I watched Moana on what felt like a portable DVD player.
I remember your mom, you, and me were all on the couch, like smushed together to watch TV. It's like, there's only 3 of us.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't need my arms.
Like, why don't we all fit on this couch?
It's so stupid.
It is crazy.
You have to look at the common areas because, like, if I just want to stay in a bedroom, why am I not staying at a hotel?
Then I should definitely stay at a hotel. Yeah. If I'm not going to get the amenities of like hangout common space, this is a waste.
Right.
I agree with you. I really do. And I rarely say that.
And like, how is the kitchen outfitted?
I don't think about the kitchen most of the time because, like, I feel like on vacation 99% of the time you're eating out.
But like, I need there to be a coffee pot.
Well, yeah, of course.
And a step beyond that, a Keurig.
I mean, if you really want to go high class, get an espresso.
Yes, but like, I just should I start an Airbnb business marketing?
We have too many irons in the fire. But
No, I know. But like, it doesn't cost that much money. Just have a Keurig and like a fuck ton of K-cups. Because if you have a coffee pot, then you have to have coffee grounds, and who knows how old those are.
I'm going to take it a step further. Have the right size TV and have a smart TV.
Yeah, that's a given.
Like, you should have apps.
Also, ceiling fans in every room.
Okay, well, now you're just being a bit...
No. I don't require that for our stay. I'm saying if I'm designing an Airbnb,
of course. Yeah.
a fucking 32-inch flat screen smart TV on the wall in every bedroom.
Yep.
A ceiling fan because you don't know what people's sleeping temperature is. Minimum
You don't know
queen
what my
size
temperature
bed.
is. Yes.
Like these
Definitely.
places that have like fulls. What's going on?
You know what I hate? When they call it a queen and I fucking know it's not. I'm not going to get out my tape measure, but I'm like, this is a full.
You're like, okay, either I've grown or this has shrunk.
Like, honey, you shrunk the bed.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a queen. That happens in hotels.
And
They're like,
it's-
oh, this room is 2 queens. I get there. I'm like,
No,
no,
it's
it's
not.
not.
No, it's
Liar.
I think it's also when you have a king size bed, it's so much harder to go down, like even to a queen. But then a full with 2 people is like, I wasn't looking forward to sleeping with your elbow in my asshole,
But here we are.
but here we are.
I am the worst person to sleep with. You'll attest to that.
Yeah, it's awful.
And I woke up this morning and I felt, not so bad. I was pretty comfortable. We have a king bed. I'm not kidding you. Both of our dogs, me, we were smushed onto Tyler's side. He probably had a 1/4 of an inch.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh, it's not just me, it's the dogs too.
And Tyler was like, just hanging on for dear life.
I felt like he was going to be like, belay or whatever.
On belay on.
Like he's rock climbing to stay on the bed. It's like a little harness. And I was like, why do I do this in my sleep? Like,
It's
I
crazy.
can't control it.
It's crazy. I know. So yeah, a full-size bed is not part of the plan at all. It's just like it's not that hard to like design a house that's functional and also chic. A lot of the houses I've been seeing lately are like, you know, boast their like impressive collection of art that's hung all over and not a TV in sight.
Like, if I would go to an art museum, I would stay home.
Like this Airbnb has no television.
That's crazy.
I could just stay at a homeless shelter. That doesn't have TVs either.
I actually think some of them do. Like, let's be real.
Probably.
Do you remember how chic the TV was in the Ritz Paris? It was on a little stand.
Yeah, I do remember.
It looked like a piece of art.
What? Except that room didn't serve you.
What do you mean?
Like you woke up freezing.
Oh my
you cut
God.
your hand open. You were like, it was like just you were clunking around from the hours of like 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. And I was like, I can't be bothered.
You literally. Well, no, I was so hot. And then you opened up all the windows and we fell
I
asleep.
didn't open up all the windows. I opened up a couple windows.
And then I woke up in the middle of the night before my wedding.
And we were staying at the Ritz Paris where you were opening windows to see an entire view of the city. So
it was
you're
stunning.
welcome.
It was beautiful. But I woke up around 1 a.m. I was a little nasally. It was my wedding day. I was like, well, this will not do. I must be allergic outside.
I must be allergic to the outside.
I jumped up. I was closing all the windows. You're like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. Go back to sleep. Yeah. Honestly, for a room like that, I didn't even mind. I was like, cut my hand on the
Cut my thumb off.
cut my hand on the sink, and here we are. Because it had those ornate little birds. One of the wings got me. But now it's kind of like a wedding tattoo, except it's a wedding scar.
It's like my wedding tattoo. Yeah, I just remember when we got up, Gabby and Morgan were like coming in when you were getting ready.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is everyone getting here so early? Like, and they were like, this is what time we're supposed to come. I was like, oh, okay. But luckily we had time to lay in bed for a long time.
Yeah, it was like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory's grandparents.
But then Gabby was getting annoyed with me because the Ritz had kept sending like snacks up to
Yeah.
the room and they had sent this little box of like dark chocolate truffles.
Yeah.
And I was like, Job, you want any of these? And you were like, no, I'm good. So I ate them all.
Yeah, of course.
And then they brought up another box and I was like, I'm going to have more of these truffles. And Gabby was like, don't eat those. Those are for Jonna. I go, she said she didn't want them. She goes, she said she didn't want them at 8. This is the new box. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Jonna, do you want the next round of truffles?
I'm getting my hair and makeup done. You can have them.
No, literally.
Oh,
She was like, you're stealing all her rich truffles.
Those are her goddamn wedding truffles. Have you no class? Speaking of a bone to pick, actually, I thought of something while we were talking about that. It's starting to make me irate how these subscriptions are limiting how many TVs you can have it on.
It's how many TVs or locations?
Locations.
Oh, yeah.
Like, give me a fucking break. I have paid a small down payment to Netflix.
I know. And it's going up to 30 a month.
It's going up, and you won't let me share with my mother?
No.
Who do you think you are?
Isn't that crazy?
You're already so rich. It's like the rich get richer.
I know.
It's not like
And
you're
they're
hemorrhaging
if
money.
You want to downgrade to the subscription with ads, and you're like, I don't want to downgrade.
Also, Netflix has never had ads.
They do now.
I know,
There's
that's
a
what I'm
plan
saying.
with
Like, you had to
ads.
go out of your way to make it more annoying.
I found myself thinking the other day when I saw the price was going up, I was like, $30, isn't it $7.99?
Yeah, when I started getting Netflix in 2009,
No, like I think I started getting Netflix in like 2013 or something, and it was $7.99, and I was like, that's not so horrible. And now I'm like, $30?
but it's so crazy. Like, I have a bone to pick with the entire TV structure now. Like, the whole idea was like you could cut your cord
I
and you'd
know.
save money. Now I'm paying more than I used to pay for cable for 38 different streaming services. I have to remember all the passwords. It's like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah, we were just talking about how it's like I do want to have cable because I like having the TV on in the background.
You can do that with like live programming.
No,
though.
I don't. Hulu Live is not it for me.
I love Hulu Live.
The picture isn't good.
Huh?
It's not like a 4K picture.
Yeah,
And you have a 4K TV.
Is that a 4K picture?
It's not a 4K picture.
Who cares?
I do.
It's just background.
Well, obviously you don't care. You were watching your TV with a purple filter over it for like 2 years before realizing. Then you're like, I have such a headache. It's like you're staring at a blue light all day.
Why are you watching the Smurf show?
Actually, though.
Interessante.
Should we get into the stories?
I mean, the only story that matters. The demise of the United States.
Someone posted, Happy Doomsday. I mean, Monday.
It has a different energy, I think. Don't you? Trump's America?
Like a Nazi-ish type?
I mean, I was going to say that, but Elon Musk tried to.
Can you explain that to me? I watched the clip and people are saying it's just like he's flailing his arms around like a weirdo.
They said he was like uncomfortable and made like an uncomfortable gesture. It's like when I make an uncomfortable gesture, it's like a tap dance. Like when I feel uncomfortable, I'm like, dun-dun-dun.
That's your uncomfortable. I thought you were going to say like playing with your hair.
But know what I'm saying? Like
when I'm uncomfortable, I like, pick at my nails and you're like, and I do a little tap dance usually.
No, I just mean like I've never been like, sorry, that was just a really uncomfortable Heil Hitler. Like it doesn't, that isn't even a natural action. It's not even like a salute. Like, oh, maybe you thought you were being kitschy with a salute. Like, what were you doing with your hands?
Yeah, if your arm is extended fully out and your fingers all close together like a spear. Out in front of you, there's really nothing else it could be.
I will say, like, sometimes I even get uncomfortable, like in a Catholic mass service. Sometimes they'll do like a blessing on everyone and they'll ask you to like raise your hand to like bless everyone. And
and that feels like
it's not supposed to be a stiff gesture. It's supposed to be like almost like you're raising
your arm be loose.
It's almost like you're supposed to raise your hand like you have a question, loose fingers, and then just kind of lean it forward, like maybe like what you might do at a concert to like jam along, but like
you're feeling the Lord,
but like I've seen an occasional person who I do not think is trying to do it, where it's a little too stiff, and even that makes me uncomfortable.
And you're like, whoa
wow, loosen up that arm.
What are you doing there?
Get some jello in that elbow.
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Did Elon comment on it?
I haven't seen anything where he commented directly, but he was all over X. I still want to call it Twitter because like X is such a stupid name. But he was all over X, like liking tweets and commenting on things that people were writing, basically saying, relax, that's not what he meant. And he liked a post that said, can we please retire the calling people a Nazi thing? It didn't work during the election. It's not working now. So
what are you supposed to call people who use one of the Heil type situations?
So I think it was just like a not comment. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is that like a lot of Trump supporters are supporters of him because he's pro-Israel.
Correct.
Like, yes. I don't understand the intersect of the two sides.
I think part of it is that like when you're so far up Trump's ass like these people are, they're like, well, we trust his judgment implicitly. And oh my God, I saw the funniest tweet that was like, Alon's moving into Barron's bedroom. Like basically he's like he's so obsessed with them. Like they're like, we trust Trump and he loves Elon and he's the greatest and he makes weird little cyber trucks. But there's literally people out there who are so pro-Israel, who are so outspoken about anti-Semitism, as they should be. It should be condemned, who have been either silent or making excuses, which like, even here's what I would say. Even if I didn't hate Elon Musk and Trump in an alternate universe, I still think it would be necessary to comment on this and say, I don't know him, so I don't know his intentions, but I think that was a really, really, really scary, inappropriate gesture. And I can like the person, but condemn whatever the hell that was. It's like weirder to act like it wasn't alluding to something so fucked up.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, you don't have to condemn him. You can say like, he's a little weird. I mean, he is extremely strange, and say like he did something really weird and I don't think he meant it this way. And if he had come out and been like, whoa, I saw it back. Like, I saw that. Not sure what the fuck I was doing. Whoopsie. So wrong. So embarrassed. Sorry. It'd be done.
Yes.
The fact that he's not commenting on it is making it seem like he did mean it.
Right. Like, how hard would it be to just say, like, that's not what I meant by that?
Like, not to bring the Real Housewives into this, but you really had me watch New York, the season finale, where something extremely fucked up happens.
Yes, it was a crazy episode.
And one of the Real Housewives is like, if I really did this wrong thing, tell me. Like, I want to apologize, but I need to understand what I did.
Right.
So if he doesn't think he did something wrong, be like, can someone explain? Oh, whoops.
It's kind of like when you're looking to them to like condemn something or do something. It's like with Jan 6. Like when Trump was like, what did he say? Stand down?
Stand down. Like making it seem like he was the commander in chief of this whole brigade.
And it was like, why can't you just clearly say like, I do not condone this?
And then he pardoned all those people.
I know, like day one.
And where's the intersection for that? So many people love Trump because he backs the blue. The blue died.
I don't understand.
It's like the way what is it? Cognitive dissonance. Mm-hmm. I need to use that phrase more. Makes me sound smart.
Yeah.
But it's like such a cognitive dissonance to say like, you're doing this thing that is so clearly opposing to what I stand for, but I'm going to pretend it's not.
Agreed. I think a lot of things are like sort of shifting, like probably like 10 years ago, like hippy dippy crunchy granola used to be very like liberal,
Yes.
like free spirit type, I feel.
Yeah, it was.
And now it's sort of like, you know, with the RFK, like no vaccines, all natural, no like chemicals, whatever. It's turned into the like more
Republican.
what is it? Homesteading?
Homesteading, like trad wife.
Yes, trad wife, like Republican. And I'm just getting confused about where everyone is.
What's up is down.
Where everyone's at. Yeah, like Trump supporters are
Making their own granola now.
making their own granola and also not supporting police officers.
I know. I don't think they've lost the plot a little. I don't think they're fully they know where they're going.
They're just like, we're on this ride.
Yeah, like it's so strange because really what I think it comes from is they just want to be in opposition
To anything?
to what they feel is the liberal movement. So like liberals were pro-COVID, they're anti-COVID, not pro-COVID. They were pro treating COVID as a pandemic and taking the necessary precautions.
Yeah, nope, not pro-COVID.
Pro-COVID. So Republicans are like
pro-COVID.
no. So the Republicans are like, well, we don't think it's real. You know what it is? It feels like a toddler. Like, well, we don't agree. It's like, well, just because I said no?
Yeah.
Like,
hold on a second.
they're like, we need vaccines. So the Republicans are like, we do not need vaccines.
That comes from like the more natural, like.
But I'm saying.
But you know what's natural is yellow fever.
It's called survival of the fittest for a reason. Like, naturally, if you don't do these things,
you're going to die.
it's gonna get you, because the people who didn't have those things died.
Right.
Ever heard of the bubonic plague?
Bubonic plague? Like the risk then is that your child has polio.
Yeah, that's not a gamble I'm willing to take.
No,
like,
I just don't even understand that.
I'll do a 5-leg parlay on a Sunday with a no sweat bet.
Totally.
But I'm not willing to risk my kid getting polio.
Especially if it's a no sweat bet.
Especially. But there's no sweat bets in vaccines.
Not in vaccines. I actually saw someone commented about vaccines the other day and said that they were at lunch with their friend. Like she brought her baby and the friend brought her 1-year-old, and the 1-year-old had like a couple different like rashy looking spots, and she was like, I'm worried it's chicken pox, but he hasn't really been directly exposed to anyone with chicken pox, like. And she was like, did you not get him the chicken pox vaccine? And she was like, no, we're doing a delayed vaccine schedule because I just don't know what's in those, whatever. And she's like, your kid is about to give my baby chicken pox, like, because her baby wasn't old enough
to have it
yet.
That's a person that I don't need in my life.
And it was like, excuse me. But then the thinking is what? Like, okay, so then they get chicken pox? There's no.
Well, chicken pox, I think, of all of the vaccines, like, you get chicken pox, it sucks. You move on.
Yeah.
it's more like measles, polio, like illnesses that create rubella.
You know, it does feel a little rubella-like.
For our friends lovers. The ones that are, I mean, I guess chickenpox also in a more severe case probably could kill you when you're that young and your immune system isn't fully developed, but like,
And it's like torturous.
yeah, but I think it's specifically for the ones that, I mean, have you ever heard of the iron lung? Like, children were dying.
Right.
And not that long ago, like in our grandparents' lifetime. So to feel confident enough as like a finance person to make that decision, like I didn't go to medical school. Why would I make that decision?
But also, didn't this man have all these vaccines and here he is alive and well? Like, didn't RFK get his vaccines as a child?
He's had some weird shit happen though. Like he has some weird neuro issue.
He does?
I don't think he's all there.
That he's blaming the vaccines for?
No. I don't think he's blaming the vaccines, but he's had some neurological issues.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I just loved though watching former presidents bond. I love the friendship between Bush and the Obamas.
Yes.
I don't know, something about like that's when politics were politics. Like these people respected each other. They didn't agree, but they respected like the Clintons and the Bushes, and like everyone could all like get together and say like, yeah, we have different policies, but we all want what's best, and I'm at least qualified for this job.
For sure.
And so when they all hang out and essentially like with their eyes make fun of Trump, I just lose it.
I agree.
It's like a bunch of girls being together and there's a nut job and all the girls are like, yo, you see that? I just love it.
And at this point, I feel like the Bushes are so like, they're not like in the scene, you know? It's like they just pop up at these presidential gatherings and they're like, this is crazy.
Did you see Jenna Bush Hager? Is that how you say it? Hager. Did you see her talking about her family group chat?
No.
During the inauguration, she was like, you know, when you go to like a school play and like you're not really looking at the other kids, you're just looking for your kid. I think she was talking to Scarlett Johansson. She was like, yeah, like I do. And she was like, that's how my family feels about these presidential events. Like we see other things happening, but we're just zooming in on our dad, hoping he's not making a weird face. That was tight.
And he is.
And he is. She was like, and he always is. Like,
and they're like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Like texting him, like, stop. Like the camera's on you.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest news story of the year.
Yeah. Everyone keeps saying like just 4 years and like we hope.
No, really. It did feel very, because you're the one who told me that Meta, like Instagram and Facebook, are like automatically having accounts follow
POTUS and VP.
The vice president and president, and like if you weren't following them before, you probably are now.
Yep.
And I was like, that feels very like dictatorship-y.
Yeah. There was one person, now I can't remember, I don't think I actually followed the POTUS account, who claimed, other people were saying that's not true, but who claimed that it wasn't making you follow them. Those people took over the standard accounts. So if you followed the POTUS or the VP previously,
okay,
the account switched over.
But I did follow Kamala before,
yeah,
and she has her, like, I'm still following her.
Yeah, hers gets archived.
Oh.
Like, allegedly.
Okay.
I don't think I was following POTUS before, and I was following, when I looked at my phone, Trump, who I had not gone to follow.
No.
So that scared me.
How do they do that then if he had his own, if like the account has, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's like how like you can follow, I'm gonna make this up, like CEO of Airbnb, and like whoever the CEO of Airbnb is has access to that account.
But all the pictures are like Biden.
So they get archived and like moved to a new name.
Oh. What a process.
It has to be like an internal meta thing.
Presidents in the modern era.
No, literally. It's like we're making things a little harder.
It's fascinating.
And you want more technology. This is what we've got.
Yeah, no.
Ugh, gives me a stomach ache. Did you see all of the footage that was released from the filming of It Ends With Us?
Yeah. And I don't really think that footage proves really anything. Like, it just made me more confused about the whole thing.
I think it proves that they're both insane. Like, he released that specific scene because in her lawsuit, she claimed that in that scene is where he did a number of creepy things. I mean, you'd have to live under a rock, but if you do live under a rock, It Ends With Us has...
We hope they have our podcast down there.
Yeah, it's crazy you guys have service under that rock. I literally can't even get service sometimes, like in Jewel. So if you have service under your rock, mazel. It Ends With Us has turned into this like not political. It's about the only thing not political. This legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. She sued him for sexual assault and essentially creating a hostile work environment. He countersued and sued reports. He didn't sue Blake herself, but he sued those who wrote the stories backing her story, basically saying it was libel, it wasn't founded, they didn't do the proper reporting, none of this happened. And his attorney then released all of the unedited footage from filming that showed particular scenes that Lively had referenced in her lawsuit. So the reason there was all this controversy is because there's a specific scene where they're like dancing. And I guess in her lawsuit, she said that he made her uncomfortable by claiming she smelled good and kind of like forcing himself on her. And so he released it with the audio where at one point she says like, I'm so sorry. Like I smell like spray tan. I'm sure it smells awful. And he says, no, it smells good. And like all of the things that she kind of, it's a he said, she said, but things that she perhaps portrayed to feel a little bit more sinister.
Yes.
He's basically claiming that this is the actual scene. This is what was said. It was not sinister. It was very normal, blah, blah, blah. I'm over it. They've exhausted me.
It really has been like so much news about it.
I don't give a shit.
I'm still Team Blake. I want to make that clear.
I've never been Team Blake. I think she's a bitch.
Okay.
I hope these horrible things did not happen to her. I'm not going to say whether they did or didn't because like I wasn't there. And some of this is perception. Like if you feel uncomfortable, it's valid.
Yeah, if you feel uncomfortable, then...
But I think there's a lot more weird shit going on. And I do think she is a bitch. Like her text where she calls herself Khaleesi.
That was really cringy.
I'm so uncomfortable for her. Like you look like a loser.
Major loser vibes. But like compared to his loser vibes of his like feminist podcast, it's like...
It's a battle of losers. But I don't think she's coming out as great as she thought she was. Because his whole thing is, yes, we had this smear campaign, but I went on the defensive. She claimed he went on the offensive. She claimed he did this to make her go away.
Right.
He's claiming he did it because he knew she was going to try and ruin him. I don't know if it was the chicken or the egg. I've lost interest, though.
Yeah.
Like, can you both go away?
Totally. Agreed.
There's nothing to be learned here. The movie was mid.
Yes.
At best.
And also, like, it's just, like, the lawsuits and then the counter lawsuits. And then, like, it's such a big story. And then we're probably never really going to have a resolution.
It's over. Yeah, like, we don't care.
We don't care.
Go into the sunset.
And he did. He's in Hawaii.
Yeah. Blake, shh. I do think she overplayed her hand, though.
You do?
I do.
I don't.
I think it would have blown over. I think people have thought she was kind of a mean girl for a long time. So just let it ride away.
Do you think Taylor's a mean girl?
I actually don't.
But they're so close.
I mean, we're friends. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and you're a mean girl.
Exactly. No, I think it's where there's smoke, there's fire. And I've heard rumors about Blake being a mean girl for a really long time. So I find it hard to believe that she's not a mean girl. And also people who are mean girls aren't mean to everyone. Like she might be an amazing friend to Taylor. Like that doesn't mean Taylor knows that she's like a mean girl on work sets.
Well, I think, you know, your vibe is your vibe. Like they just really haven't friends for so long. Doesn't Taylor have like, not Taylor, doesn't Blake have like, you know, friends from a bunch of movies she's done? Not
Only
really.
Sister of the Traveling Pants.
And the rest, not really.
Anna Kendrick and her had weird press. There was a lot of rumors about that being an uncomfortable situation. Leighton Meester has like never said a nice word about her. She's never said anything mean, but like kind of skirts around it. People who worked on production on Gossip Girl for a long time said that she was notoriously difficult to work with.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think what else she's been in.
Let me pull
Age
up
of
the
Caroline.
list.
What's that? Age of Adeline?
Yes.
Age of Caroline. I didn't hear anything about that, but that's because that movie didn't do diddly squat.
Okay, let me tell you. Okay, this is from her IMDb. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Apparently she was in Accepted. Did anyone remember her in
I'm
that?
not even sure what that is.
She was in that movie with Ben Affleck, The Town. Age of Adeline. Did you see that?
I did.
The Shallows, that movie about the girl who got attacked by a shark, the surfer.
Also did nothing.
A Simple Favor.
That's the one where she had drama with Anna Kendrick.
I mean, like, she hasn't really been in that much. How is she such a huge star now that come to think of it?
I think Gossip Girl just like gave her the platform. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Yeah. And she's like, you know, Hollywood A-lister. Married to Ryan Reynolds.
I just think she's like a little stuck-uppy. That's a technical term.
She's stuck-uppy.
But I think he's also a fucking weirdo. It's like, I don't like either of these people. Go away.
What's interesting is that Colleen Hoover,
Yeah.
the author of It Ends With Us, who was kind of like peripherally involved in this drama, deleted her Instagram.
Well, I'm sure she's like, enough. I saw a clip where Blake Lively was talking about how like there were so many favors that were called in, like kind of alluding to it be like her calling in these favors because the movie had, quote, no budget. Now, again, I didn't fact check this, but like the next slide was them showing the, quote, budget, and she got $3 million to play Lily, and the next closest was like 300,000.
Whoa.
It's like, we don't have a budget because we're paying you a shit ton.
Insane.
Like, she made it seem like this indie film, kind of, and she was like the savior of it.
I also, though, I kind of feel like it's like he read the book and then his production company optioned the book, like, and then it was like, you know, we're going to hire actors and directors, like, we're really going to make this into something. And then he was like, you know what, I'll direct, and while I'm there, I'll act.
But I will say, in his defense, and I'm not in the habit of defending him because I do think he's a weirdo,
But you are in the habit of defending him.
but I'm going to defend him.
Okay.
Allegedly, he just wanted to direct, and Colleen Hoover was like, I think you should be Ryle.
I do not think that that's true.
There's texts as part of like his whole thing of Colleen being like, I could see you being Ryle. You should really consider being Ryle. Now, of course, he could have always said no. Like, I'm not saying anyone put a gun to his head.
It's just like, it's classic.
The truth is, it's classy. I was like, I guess, kind of classy.
Classic misogynist.
You know, you're not wrong.
Oh, in other crazy news,
Mm-hmm.
I saw this story on People, actually, and it was just the craziest thing. Patient dies after hospital asks wrong family about removing life support.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. So, one man died after he was taken off life support when he was misidentified as his hospital roommate at a Vancouver, Washington hospital. David Wells died on August 9th, per the Clark County Medical Examiner's report. He died after his hospital roommate, Michael Beeler's family, permitted the removal of Beeler from his life support on August 8th. Wells, who was 69, arrived at the Vancouver medical facility via ambulance on August 8th after he choked on a piece of steak, became unconscious, and stopped breathing. He was incorrectly identified as Beeler, and the hospital contacted Beeler's sister, Debbie, to decide whether the quote-unquote brain-dead patient should remain on life support or not. After she made the difficult decision to end the life of the man she thought was her brother, she grieved him, wrote his obituary for the newspaper, and arranged his funeral. Then, on August 14th, she learned Beeler was alive when he called her.
Oh, my God.
Debbie said, "You can't be alive. You're dead." The siblings reported the incident to authorities. So just to untangle some of this woman's brother
Was in the hospital.
was in the hospital after choking on a piece of steak.
No. The man who died was.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Beeler was.
What was he in the hospital for then?
They didn't say in the article.
Oh. Wells was 69.
And choked on steak.
And they contacted Beeler's sister, Debbie.
And told her that he was on life support.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
He was fine. Something else happened to him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. Well, that's a lawsuit.
Okay, let me untangle that again.
Okay.
So this guy, his name was Sean Wells, Debbie's brother, was in the hospital. He was Yes.
Beeler's your brother.
You just said no.
No. Do you want me to clarify it?
Job.
Sean Wells choked on steak, not related to this woman. Beeler was in the hospital. His roommate, we don't know why. His sister was...
Why are they roommates? People are going to be so confused. Maybe it's because the article doesn't say who the fuck is who. Okay, to clarify.
Do you want me to clarify?
No, I want to make sure I get it.
Okay.
To clarify.
From yourself.
May I?
I'm choking on a piece of steak.
I'm about to pull your plug.
Okay. No, literally.
Beeler, Debbie's brother, was in the hospital for undisclosed reason. And his roommate in the hospital was this man named Sean Wells, who was there for choking on a piece of steak and was brain dead. And the hospital, I guess neither of them had family like visiting them there. And the hospital called Beeler's family instead of Wells's family to say, should we take him off of life support? And Debbie, no relation to the man who choked on the steak, made the call
To take him off life support.
to take him off of life support.
Correct, Mundo. I can't believe like they don't have better systems for identifying like who's who. Like maybe their charts just got swapped.
I mean,
It feels like a soap opera, doesn't it?
they're supposed to like scan your
Bracelet.
or something. That is so crazy. Do you think she feels so bad?
No, because she wasn't even there.
But also, like, can you imagine getting that call? Like, hey, Deb, haven't been able to touch base. Just got out of the hospital. I slipped last week. Not sure if you know. I'd be like, what?
I would be freaked the fuck out.
I'd be like, Beeler? Whatever your first name is.
Can you,
Brother Beeler?
Can you imagine?
No, I'd be like, I'm so confused.
She's like crying on her couch and gets the call and like
She
opens
wrote his
one eye.
obituary.
She opens one eye and she's like,
Huh? This is like in the 90s. You get a voicemail and it's just like playing in your apartment.
yeah.
Beeler?
Oh God, that hospital's fucked. That's so sad.
Where's the family of the man who choked on steak, though?
This whole thing is very triggering to me because I was at lunch with a friend last week and she choked on a piece of pineapple in a way that I've never seen someone choke before.
Really?
Like she turned, I'm assuming how Sean Wells looked before he got to the hospital. Like bright red, couldn't get air in or out. Everyone in the restaurant like kind of turned. In my head, I was like, you can't call 911 for choking. They'll die before you get here. Like in my head, I was like, I have to do the Heimlich. I don't know how to do the Heimlich. Like
You don't?
I have
feel
no
like
clue.
you would.
I mean, I've seen it on TV, but like to really do it, she was bright red. Finally, she cleared it and was like, I can breathe, but I can't talk. Like she moved it out of her
Were
airway.
you
but
like, did you think you were going to die to her?
I said, I was like, did you think like the light was coming? She was like, that was scary.
That was scary.
And I felt so guilty. I mean, it was my pineapple. She said, can I have a piece? I said, sure.
It could have been you who choked.
Yeah, I wasn't really in a pineapple mood that day though. So
She took
I
it
was
for
spared.
you.
She said it just slipped down the wrong pipe.
Oh, that's scary.
I'm really sad for Sean Wells.
It sounds like he didn't have a very dedicated family anyway, though.
Well, honestly, and no
Like,
judgment.
No one's going to show up.
No judgment to Beeler's family. I don't care where you live in the country. You should go visit the person before you take them off life support.
Well, yeah. Let's get a good look at him.
Like, it's a little weird to not like, but like just to want to say goodbye to your loved one. It's not like there's any rush.
Not even want to say goodbye. It's just like, they're saying that you're brain dead, but maybe it's because no one's there that you're interested in connecting with.
Yeah, like I just wouldn't feel comfortable saying like, pull the plug from Ohio.
Right. It's like the person is like in a coma, not waking up, and maybe they just are not wanting to talk to anyone in the room.
Like, I just can't trust. You always need an advocate in a healthcare situation.
Yeah. It's just the old over the phone. Yeah, and this is a family of Sean Wells. You guys good if we call it?
Well, they should have called the family Sean Wells. They called the Beelers.
Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Let it be.
Why is this a riddle?
It's a riddle. You're like, God, this is so horrible. And Sean Wells is like, kind of worse for me.
So confused and sorry.
Oh, God.
All right, do you want to do a daily dilemma?
Yeah, let's.
That story was a dilemma in itself.
I hope you can wrap your hands around this story.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So this is a woman who works part-time but doesn't need to work anymore. She's in her early 60s, widowed. Her husband passed away a few years ago. She lives in a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio,
Okay.
where she raised her kids. So she has a daughter who's in her 30s and a son who's in his 20s.
Great.
And she writes in and she says that her daughter, who got married a couple years ago and lives in New York City, recently called her to tell her that she's pregnant. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like, they always said they weren't even sure if they wanted kids. Like, so she was like, I didn't know if I'd have grandkids, but this is so great, whatever. And the daughter's like, I was talking to my husband and we both really think it would be a good idea if you moved out here to New York City. We are looking at moving anyway to get a bigger place for the baby, and we'd get a place where like you could live with us, help take care of the baby, like be part of our village here.
Okay.
And the mom was like, whoa, like, is this something that I should do? Basically, she's like, I have like a whole life here. Like, she's probably been living there for the last 40 years. And she's like, I have a lot of friends here. I work part-time, like as a school secretary that she's been working at forever. Like, she really loves her job. Her son still lives there, but she's like, I don't know if he'll stay here. Like, I'm not really here for him. Like, it's nice, but this is just where I live. Mm-hmm. And she's like, so she's writing into New York Magazine saying, is this something that I should do? Like, will my life be so much fuller moving there, or do I already have a full life and like I'll see my grandkids when I visit?
Well, that's a doozy.
So basically she was like, should I like upend my whole life, like change everything to go and like have this like totally new experience? What if I don't like living in Manhattan? What if I am not as fulfilled as I think I'm going to be by being there? Like, she's like, I love my daughter and her husband, but like,
I just feel like it's a little selfish to ask of her. Like, it's one thing if you invite her to live with you because she needs it. Like, she has medical needs, or
I don't know if she was asking as much as inviting. Like, we'd love it if.
Okay. And that's really sweet. I love a pro-con list. If she's in her 60s and like has this very full life, her grandkid can't be her whole world. And her daughter and son-in-law have a life there. So they have friends and social plans and jobs and commitments. And so they can't give her an entire community like she has at home. So if she wants to commit herself to going out there one weekend a month, and they do get a place that has like a guest bedroom that she like keeps a bunch of stuff there, and she can like be a super involved grandma and wants to do all that, I think that's amazing. But I think it's a recipe for disaster when you're giving up your entire life for one thing.
Right.
Across the board, not just in this situation. So like eventually, in 5 years, your grandchild's going to go to school. And now you've like completely separated yourself from your network in Ohio, and their lives are moving on.
And also, like, being in your it's not like you could just like go out there for a few years and then come back and have like a gay old time with your pals. Like, people might not be alive in 5 years when you get back.
And their lives will change. You know, like the longer you're not enmeshed in people's lives, you can't just like pop it in and out as you please.
I always just thought it was so crazy that all of my grandma's friends were dead. Like, by the end, like, she'd be telling a story and I'd be like, what happened to that person? She'd be like, oh, they died and blah, blah, blah. It was like all of your people slowly die. And then one time, I got her a birthday card that had a drawing of a dinosaur on the front of it. And it said, happy birthday. Sorry, all your friends are dead.
That is so fucking dark. What did she say?
She laughed. We were laughing.
I mean, it is funny.
Like, you're celebrating a birthday, but
you
many
don't
aren't.
want to be the last one.
No. Yeah, side note, but
oh my god, I saw a funny video the other day I was going to send to you, but I don't know why I didn't. Oh, I know, because you don't have TikTok. And it was this girl who was like, my best friend asked me if I'd move on if she died, and it was literally her dragging her dead best friend everywhere, like her limp body, like table for two, pulling her into the booth. Just she had sunglasses on, like,
oh yeah, just two of us.
And I was like, I would 100% do that.
Yeah,
like,
you would. I'd be like, let me be.
They'd be like, should we? I'm like, no, leave her with me.
They're like, is this what she wanted? You're like, no, she wanted to be cremated, but how am I supposed to carry dust everywhere?
Dirty, the wind.
Yeah, the wind, she's gone in a flash.
It was much safer. I just bring her home, put her on dry ice.
That is you.
No, but I was dying. Yeah, like, you can't just give up your whole life for one thing.
Totally. I agree. I also think, like, to move out there preemptively is a bold choice. Like, she's just like pregnant, and obviously, like, it takes time to sell your house, whatever, but like to be like, yeah, I'm gonna move out there. I think maybe like let the baby be born and then like go out there once a month for the first like 6 months and see like, how's it vibing? Like, is that enough? Or are you like, when you're trying to go back to Ohio, are you like, I never want to leave?
Yeah.
Then you'll have your answer.
And if you really do have the luxury of working part-time, being fine, there's nothing to say you can't sell your house in Ohio, downsize to a smaller place, and then live in both places, or like do extended stays. But I think to sell your house, sell your belongings, say sayonara, and move to New York. First of all, how is she supposed to make a friend?
Totally.
It's not like New York's known for like a blossoming senior community. Like,
I mean, they probably do have an extremely active senior community.
it just feels like, what are you doing? I don't know.
It's definitely out of her comfort zone.
Ma'am, stay where you are.
That's your advice?
That's my advice.
My advice would be like to not make any decision right now.
Yeah. Let it ride.
Like, be like, I so appreciate that. Like, I'm nervous to upend everything because I'm happy here. But like, when you have the baby, I'll come out a ton and see like, could I see myself living there? How would I fit into?
And you have the luxury, like Ohio to New York is not bad.
Yeah,
like,
what is that? An hour and a half?
It's not like she lives in San Francisco, where like you really should be. You can't do a multi monthly trip.
Right. It's like a little business trip.
It's a bit. People do it for work. You can do it,
and you can too. So that's our advice.
And you should listen.
Well, thanks for that. Thanks for that weekly wrap up.
Thanks for calling.
I'll call you later.
Call you later. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.